Welcome back, boys and some girls. At the risk of sounding negative, I want to talk about my experience coming back to Helldivers 2 after about 2 years. At its core, Helldivers 2 is an extraction shooter. You drop into the mission with gears and stratagems, you complete objectives, you gather resources, and you extract so you can upgrade your equipment. When you die, that character is gone, replaced by another diver that is being launched into the battlefield. Now, gameplay wise, still you, but technically you're expendable. By now you have probably seen clips, shorts, or full breakdowns of this game. At launch, it was massive, huge player numbers, constant online buzz. It even saw another spike very recently during the Cyberstan bot assault. I personally came back because of the Bastion tank, but playing again kind of reminded me why I stopped playing in the first place. So in this video, I want to go over the issues I have with the game, not to hate on it, but to maybe sharpen the discussion. Maybe it reaches the right ears, and maybe it just helps you figure out how you feel about it. So the first point, Ragdoll. This is by far my biggest issue. In theory, I don't hate Ragdoll. If I get launched by a massive explosion, sure, makes sense, it's annoying, but hey, it makes sense. What doesn't make any sense is tripping over small rocks and then rolling like I just got hit by a truck. Or getting slightly pushed, clipping into an object and then being forced to die because now I'm stuck under that object. This kind of ragdoll does not add any tension, does not any gameplay functionality, it just simply removes control from the player and it is not fun. It feels less like more battlefield chaos and more like just random punishment to you, the player. My fix is pretty simple, just reduce the ragdoll frequency by 50 to 60%, but keep it for big impacts, huge missiles. Remove the random ankle twist moments, and I think we're golden. Point number 2, enemy spawning and mission flow. This one is a little bit harder to explain, so bear with me. If you play difficulty 8 and above, you'll probably notice something. You don't really need tactics for most missions. Outside of defensive objectives, you can just run from start to finish, shoot while you're sprinting, ignore most fights, you barely even need a team. It kind of defeats the whole purpose of a co-op tactical shooter. The problem is the spawning logic. I'll explain. Enemies don't really feel like they exist in the real world, they just spawn around you in a ring. Bot fabricators, they barely matter. They don't populate the map in any meaningful way. They just pop like 3 enemies whenever you get close to them to blow them up. Now imagine instead enemies spawn from fabricators. They patrol in logical routes they think divers will take. They guard objectives. They reinforce from one outpost to the other if you take too long in some place. Now you actually have real enemy camps, real map control, and a real reason to coordinate with your teammates. You would need cover fire, you will need assault angle, you will need stratagem planning. There's actual team fight going on. There's actual need for coordination between your teammates. You can't just sprint and throw grenades all over the place. This would mean that as you play the map, the number of enemy overall would reduce because you clear more and more camps, so less enemies would spawn. So this would make your extraction a little bit easier than it is to come in. If this makes sense. I think it makes sense because, you know, you get rid of the factors that makes the robot. It makes sense that there is less robots, not more. Number 3 is about the Bastion tank. This one is a little bit smaller, but it actually matters to me specifically because I really love the Bastion tank, like I said. It feels extremely slippery. Real tanks have insane ground grip. You just can go up anything, you can park anywhere you want. In Helldivers, the tank slides off any small incline that you can find. It's almost like you're driving on ice. Even a very small angle can cause it to drift and then make you miss your shot. Now it's not nitpicking, it actually affects your combat effectiveness. My solution is pretty simple. Just increase the overall traction. It doesn't need like complex terrain deformation tech to make the track grab onto the land. You just need to reduce the sliding distance. Maybe let it drift the length of maybe like 1/6 of a Helldiver before it actually stabilizes and stays still. This alone would make it feel way more grounded and way more powerful instead of just being awkward sliding on ice. Number 4, stratagem bounces. This one causes so many unnecessary frustrations. Sometimes the stratagem bounces because you're under a roof and it makes sense. You don't want your supplies to land on top of a building, right? But when it bounces unpredictably into enemy lines and then you waste a long cooldown, it's painful. My suggestion is if the stratagem cannot land on the same spot that you throw it at and activate immediately, cancel it. Just cancel it. Play an error sound or something, refound the cooldown instantly, and let me throw it again. I say just overhaul the whole thing, make emplacements and building actually placeable, and just make all the eagle strikes and orbital strikes throwable. You don't really need anything else in my opinion. But if you want to keep it ball throwing all over the way, just give me the cooldown again so I can throw it properly and know where I can and cannot throw. Because as the player, you don't know where the developer allow you to put down things, and you don't. You just kind of throw it and hope he does, and if he doesn't, then oh wait, I wasted my cooldown. Oh no. Bottom line, don't punish me for collisions, physics that I can't predict, please. Number 5, bugs. There is the technical side now. Getting stuck under the terrain. Enemies staring at you doing absolutely nothing. Objectives that cannot be completed. Extraction ships sinking into the ground. Crashes. For a game that's been out for a couple of years, there's still a ton of small immersion breaking issues. Individually, when you're looking at them, they're very minor stuff. But when you add them all together, it creates quite a few quit moments. Now for the bigger theme, what I think, the whole theory for this video. I think Arrowhead Studio wants you to feel helpless. They want you to feel disposable, they want you to feel weak, replaceable. The constant character replacement, the extreme fragility of the Helldivers, the heavy ragdoll, the overwhelming odds. All of this just reinforces the idea you're just a grunt. You're just a small piece of a massive machine. And I understand the artistic vision, but personally I really don't subscribe to that kind of fantasy. I prefer a much more consistent character, more durable, more technological superiority. If something like Halo made a game with this game loop that Helldiver has, where you're actually powerful but you're still tactical and the odds are still overwhelming, I probably won't stop playing that, because I love Helldiver's mission structure. I love the gameplay loop. It just has too many I'm done for today moments. I once saw a video titled something along the lines of grunt fantasy regarding this exact subject in Helldivers, and honestly I think it describes it perfectly. It's the fantasy of being weak but succeeding anyway through teamwork and perseverance. Very much anime coded when you think about this. The whole weak guy pushing through archetype. Some people love that, it just doesn't resonate with me. In conclusion, will I keep playing Helldivers 2? Probably not consistently, but I'll admit, when it does work, it is incredibly fun. And this is what makes it even more frustrating, because the fun is there. The foundation is fantastic, the game just trips over itself too often for me. It just needs to tone down the ragdoll for itself and everything should be fine. But that's gonna be it. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, thank you. If you didn't, let me know how I can improve. Besides, keep safe and see you next one. Bye bye.